Welcome, everybody, to Stay Curious. I'm your host, Mark Marquette. So glad that you joined us today with a big influencer out there in the space community, and we're so proud to have him as a partner and my friend, Mitch Rothman. Hi, Mitch.
Mark, so great to see you, my friend.
Likewise, it's always a good time when you're around. We always have some good fun and eat some good meals.
Yes, we
And
do.
you brought a new friend that's watching here, John. John from
Yes.
Baltimore. I like him a lot. The only thing wrong with him is he's a Baltimore Ravens fan.
Yeah,
But
you mentioned that a
we,
few
yeah,
times.
we do have a Cleveland Browns connection there. But he knows where I stand. But anyway, we're also glad that you're there. Those of you that used to watching us live here on a Friday, December 5th, 2025. Failure is not an option, as we've had a 1.5 hour hold here, actually solving a Streamlabs problem that crashed, and can't give enough thanks to Marty Winkle, my co-producer, for hanging in there. Jessica Dumont, otherwise known as Kiki, helping us solve the problem with Bruce Jacobs, our IT guy. So it took everybody here, all hands on deck, to solve a problem that they'll be scratching their heads about for a while. But we're so glad that you can watch this program. And Mitch, thank you so much for wanting to prepare this for us here. We're going to talk about a couple things. Tell us briefly the three things we're going to talk about, and then I'll do my opening lines and get on
So
with it.
today we're going to focus on the ongoing effort to make Lunar Landing Day a national holiday,
July 20th.
right, in honor of the landing of Apollo 11. We'll also be talking about the recent release on Amazon of the film The Artist and the Astronaut. Of course, we showed it at Shuttle
That's
Fest.
on Amazon now.
Now it's on Amazon
Uh,
on demand, or you,
Astronaut Jerry Carr and his wife,
yeah, Pat
Pat.
Music. The Bill Minch film is now available on demand, or you can purchase the CD all on Amazon. And later in the broadcast, we'll show a link where you can go and find that. And then we'll celebrate the launch of Apollo 11, or rather 17. That anniversary takes place this Sunday, and I have
Mm-hmm.
a few surprises for Mark and the museum
Well, thank
in
you.
honor of the Apollo 17 anniversary.
Well, Apollo 17, of course, the ending. And Mitch, well, as I'm looking, one slide I didn't rack up was your manned space. If you're a Facebooker, you need to be on manned
Yeah,
space. There you go.
check out the
There's this
logo.
coffee, the logo. NASA manned space is how you find it. How many members you have on there?
Um, Gosh, we're about 21,000 now. Yeah,
21,000. All
so it
right.
really the growth this summer was impressive. I'll tell you what. But
That's because
it's
we talk about you 5 days a week, my
well,
friend, on here. So,
that's you're
and we've
exactly
only got
right.
14,000. Now you
Well,
talk about us more.
well, and of
Well,
course we
Facebook numbers we're talking about.
right. We talk about you frequently, and
Sure you do.
so big supporters of the museum. But it's great fun. I love it. I've met people from all over the world, including John here, who's been a regular member of our group. Gosh, almost since the beginning.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
we've got some. What's John's last name? I can't pronounce.
Gregowitch.
Gregowitch?
Yes.
Gregowitch. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, I'm sure you
Good
guys
old Baltimorean name there. All right.
you
Gregowitch.
guys on that are regular viewers on NASA Manned Space recognize John's name. He's a regular poster there. He likes to share posts about his favorite hobby of modeling. He's been building space models. In
Excellent.
fact, we had a chance to speak about Steve Jokums today.
Yeah,
Uh,
we did. We're going to get Steve some business out of it
yeah,
there.
yeah.
And I'm seeing that people are watching today. Cliff Watson down in Pomona, Australia. Hey, mate, great to hear that you're down. Yes, Australia, I said. And he's starting to warm his bones up after a real wet, cold winter down under there. And Cliff, love you, buddy. He's going through a medical condition, and he sat in this chair 4 times, both lunar eclipses he came and shared. And Bob Slater's watching, and that's your man for the lunar make a moon day popular. Bob, appreciate your efforts. We're going to talk about those in a minute. He says, hi, Mark and Mitch. Keep up the wonderful work, and thanks for your ongoing support of Lunar Landing Day. I put that big poster up all the month of July. in our Apollo gallery, and hope that some people whipped out their phone and hit your QR code
Well,
there.
and I'll tell you what, we're going to see that poster again tonight, and it looks a lot different than it did when we
Okay.
showed it
Yeah,
during
because all the
Shuttle
new
Fest.
sponsors you have on there.
That's right.
I'm getting my my smart tablet there so I can talk to some of you watching it. Tom Celentano hung in there. He's eating supper, but glad Tom's up in
Thank you,
Hartford,
Tom. Good to
Connecticut,
see you. Good to
in
see
there.
you.
So, Marty, thank you so much for everybody hanging around. It's dark here, but warm. A warm, hot day here.
Yes.
We went out to Space Center, and you're going to see some pictures of that here just a pair of minutes. But Christmas charity auction tomorrow. All right. And the charity part of it is you buy something for $100, you're going to pay $120 because we're going to give a 20% charity fee straight to the museum from Bid Again auctions. And our my Obi-Wan Kenobi of teaching me about this stuff, and just a supreme supporter of the museum, Chuck Jeffrey, who I'm trying to spit out there. So 217 lots, about one a minute. You're looking at, it'll be about a quick 3 hours maybe. And you bought things on our auction, right?
I have
So
indeed.
you don't care about buying something for $1,000 and have to pay 1,200
Well,
because
there was,
200 of it's going to our
that's
museum.
exactly right. Now, um, uh, I don't participate because now
I
now I'm
give
just
you
giving,
stuff.
no, well, you do at that,
Oh, yeah.
but there are, now I'm giving it to the museum, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah,
Yeah.
but it is the objects that are available for you collectors out there are really, really quite outstanding.
Yeah, I'm going to show you a couple of them here. There's Mitch promoting on his manned space. I can't believe I didn't rack a slide up there, but I didn't. We're going to talk about the Moon Day Advocacy, this documentary, and then a little bit about his passion for Apollo 17, which, December 1972.
December 7th.
That's like 53 years ago.
Yes, 53 years ago
53
Sunday.
years ago.
This Sunday.
And since 53 years ago, it's all been fantasy, all been just simulations, all been nothing but conjecture. And I'm so mad about that, being a baby boomer growing up with
Yeah.
it. We should have a base of 30 astronauts living on the moon right now, like Antarctica. But
Yeah, when you remember the sort of the mantra of the Apollo 17 mission was it's just the beginning.
yeah.
Um,
Huh. Ha 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 ha.
I'm
Anyway,
yeah.
we'll get into that here at the end of the show here when we give some love to our moon landers. How would you like to own the manual about the PLSS? All right. The backpack that kept astronauts alive on the moon. Chuck has never seen that one come up for auction.
Huh.
He thinks it might go for as high as $1,000. How about the Block 1 Liftoff Systems publication? Block 1, of course, the Apollo 1, and then it became the Block 2. Skylab's life support system, very unusual, strapped around the waist and on the leg where the oxygen tank is. You know the pictures in your head of Al Bean doing a spacewalk, don't you?
Yeah,
On
sure.
there.
Yeah.
That's up for grabs,
Yeah,
and that could go up to $900 or more.
Yeah, they elected not to use the plis
And
on Skylab.
I don't even know what I don't even know what's um, what it looks like inside there because I've never seen that one either there. So want to thank Marty for being here. You need some help, Marty, or?
No, just let me look at the monitor.
Oh, right. Going to have John look at the monitor there. We didn't turn the other TV on. Well, there's John, who's in our studio with
Yeah.
Mitch there on the picture there, playing with blocks out there. John, I'll tell you what. Don't do that. What? Okay. He's trying to move a chair, and that's all right.
Let me try to get it.
Okay. There you go. All right. We got you there. Out there at the Space Center today.
Yes,
and who
sir.
are we visiting? Oh, wait.
Oh, yeah,
That's out of sequence.
Yeah.
We'll get out to Space Center after this out of sequence shot of the auction.
Sure.
Have you ever seen an X-20 dinosaur wooden wind tunnel test model? I doubt it.
Wait, what am I sitting in front of?
No, on the right there.
I know.
Yeah.
But, okay.
Oh, you're sitting in front of a rocket model launch platform. The
Thor.
Yeah, Thor.
Okay.
They were looking at Thor. Well, I can make it like that. And they were looking
Oh, there
at
you
Thor there. These two models, particularly this wind tunnel test thing, I think that'll go for $2,000. I really do. That would look awesome in Steve Jokum's case there in Illinois.
Hey, if I
Yeah,
may, just for a
Fox
moment,
Lake, Illinois.
if I may, I want to thank Steve Jokums personally for the Rocketdyne the R25 model that he
Yeah,
sent
hand
to
us
me.
that to show us that while he's talking about that. That model in front of you. You're there.
Better known as the Space Shuttle main engine. This is a 3D printed model that Steve creates. And of course, we need to have it with the astronaut.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. Okay, there you
So
go.
here.
Yeah.
Marty, is the astronaut there that goes with it? Because the astronaut is as cool as the engine itself, but it gives it scale as well.
Yeah, it
And
is a cool looking astronaut.
I had seen that here. I knew that Steve had given one to Morty, and I asked Steve, "Hey, I want to get one of those. How do I buy it?" And he sent it to me as a gift, and
What y'all looking for?
with a wonderful letter.
Just a chair.
So
Huh?
Just get him a chair to watch on this.
Get the one in the Gemini gallery or the official Gemini gallery one there. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. The detail of it there's just
Yeah.
amazing. And we showed it on here and didn't put it on Facebook.
well, and
but-
even the stand.
yeah, the stand is
Yeah,
awesome too.
the
Steve
way
Jokins
he-
there.
Um,
Absolutely.
and then where is the little astronaut?
right there. Right here.
Oh, there he is. Yeah, you have to. The astronaut is
SMME.
SM. Yeah.
SSME, Space Shuttle Main,
Main
engine, now known as the RS-25. And the designer of this engine, the late and great Lee Solid, said this was
Oh.
the best engine ever built, not just by Rocketdyne, by anybody, preceding the other best engine ever built, the F1. Of course, the J2 was pretty badass too
Right.
on that. But one of the most reliable ever, except now I think that's eclipsed by the Merlins on 9 Merlins times 600 flights, and
Aren't
only
they
a few
using
of them
this
failed.
currently on something?
And Artemis.
Yeah,
Oh,
Artemis.
yeah. Okay.
That's your, thank you, Steve Jokums there. We keeping it over here so we can share it with people like you. Julie's watching, says very cool. Doug Forrest, hello there in Los Angeles, Doug.
Oh,
So glad that
I know Julie.
Julie, okay.
Yeah. Hey, Julie. Thanks for tuning in.
Julie 10, Julie L 0721 there.
Yeah.
So thank you all for finding us today, and tell your friends they can watch us anytime on YouTube.
Hey, by the way, Julie, I'll be seeing you on Sunday. You probably didn't know that, but anyway, a little personal license there. But
Your wife Paula knows about that. right?
Yes, she will be there.
Just wanted to keep you in line, buddy. No, there's what we were doing today. Okay,
yeah.
out there. How cool is Tom Jones?
So it was great to meet Tom Jones. He, and to be able to express as a sponsor of next year's shuttle, for next year's Shuttle Fest.
Yep.
I,
June
it-
2026 at
Yeah.
the Cocoa Beach Hilton.
yeah, and Man Space Media, and it was nice to be able to thank Tom for his interest, and
He's
very
definitely
gracious.
going to be there. He'll
Very
be part
gracious.
of our Space Shuttle Sunday. We've got committed Mike Baker and Norm Thagard for our NASA at Star City, Americans on Russian spaceships.
Hey, before you, I want to just point out. So Tom signed some of my Man Space coffee,
Yeah,
and so
that's yellow.
Right.
Isn't that interesting against that green screen?
yeah.
But there's Tom's signature in the bottom there.
So I've been, as a sponsor of Shuttle Fest, I thought it would be cool to have astronauts sign these coffee packets that have my logo on there, and then use them as door prizes for Shuttle Fest.
Yes, that's
So
there we
I
go.
cut-
How about that, Marty?
So I've
Use those
amassed,
as door prizes.
yeah, I'm just gonna, I've amassed a bunch of them, and
But we'll get some more
Eventually-
sign. We'll get,
oh,
we'll,
yeah,
we'll
yeah.
start carrying them out there.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's great.
they'll
Yeah, I'll
sign
leave a bunch
anything.
here. Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, I got a show. I was out there too. Tom liked my shirt I was wearing today. I might buy him that shirt. He's become a good
A-
friend.
Actually, several people today commented about how much they liked your shirt.
Yeah, yeah. And what's nice about it is the pattern stays together over the buttons
Yeah.
there.
Oh, yes.
So let me take it off here and see who. No, and we'll see who I bought it off of. I'll have to check that out. But Tom, of course, has got 3 fabulous books. I think he's got 5 books really. But everybody's gone uh, crazy over his space shuttle stories. Marty, you've read it. I've read it. It's amazing. He takes each mission and has one, sometimes 2 astronauts give their take on it. And he's got enough for 3 other books, he told me. But you're going to hear a lot about Tom Jones and Shuttle Fest. I want him there every year to do space shuttle stories with Tom. And he seems to like that idea. Now, he lives in Baltimore, so,
Which was something that our friend John had in
there's
common
John
with
right
him.
there.
An area
John,
there.
good to
There's
see you,
John.
buddy.
John and I at the
We
Atlantis.
got the autograph, and then what did I say? I said, guys, come on, we got to go see Atlantis.
That's
All
right.
I mean, it's just around the block,
Well, and you can see the skill of your photograph, your photographer background. That's a
once in a
beautifully
while.
placed photograph.
Well, I've worked.
He
them.
had
They-
us
they-
lean in, right? We
Yeah.
were given specific instructions,
Yeah,
but you captured it. It looks cool.
yeah, and we've got let's see here. I was showing John that on this picture here, right there, this panel comes out, and we have the door that goes in that panel for workers to go in and out of the aft section. Now, right over the S, I noticed, Marty, is another door. And I took a picture, and we'll have our friend Terry White tell us what's behind that. And remind me to
What's
show you that
behind
door.
door
Did you
number
see-
2?
Did you see that door that I was talking about
Yes, I
over
did.
there?
Yep.
Yeah, that's over there in the shuttle thing. So there's your beautiful wife, Paula, who I talked to. Hope that
Yes.
she's probably got one of those in her hands about right now.
Maybe. Yeah, we're getting
Maybe.
ready to go to a wedding. That was in San Diego this summer for the Legacy of Apollo, which was a program that took place at the San Diego Air and Space Museum, present for the event. And I think we may have some pictures.
Yeah.
Jerry Griffin was there live. Charlie Duke was there live. There's Jerry.
Jerry Griffin, how old's he?
He's 90, I believe, in that
Yeah.
photograph. And he was with his daughter Gwen, who is she and Jeff Carr, Jerry Carr's son. He works for Griffin Communication, which is Gwen's company.
Okay.
Gwen was with Jerry at the event. It's sort of it's a small world because of Jeff's involvement with the artist and the astronaut. And so when I met Gwen, I've worked with Jeff, and so that was kind of neat. And Jerry I had met when I did an event at Tulsa when we were honoring Bill Pogue, and he recounted a story that in all the years he was a flight director, Jerry Griffin, yeah, he had never seen a splashdown, right, of an Apollo flight because he was always in mission control. And shortly after Apollo 17, he went to D.C. to go work for, at headquarters. So he's a Washington guy now. And he gets a call from a senator that wants to go watch Skylab's 4 splash down and be recovered by the New Orleans. And so the only time Jerry Griffin ever saw a splashdown of any Apollo vehicle, he was on the ship and watched Jerry Carr, Bill Pogue, and Ed Gibson splash down and step onto the deck of this ship. So that was kind of a neat story.
Jerry Griffin, of course, Johnson Space Center, and Jay Honeycutt's good friends with him. They talk once in a while. And Jay, who's 88, is just as active as Jerry, wanting to still talk about it out there. And
I will also, if I may, just on the program that was in San Diego. So also there that night by Jerry was Gene Kranz, Fred Hayes. They were appearing by Zoom. Jim Lovell actually was there that night. Perhaps one of the final appearances he ever made.
Wow, what there was this last year?
This was this summer.
Oh, this summer,
Yeah,
yeah, right. Lovell,
yeah,
Lovell dying in the early fall there.
right. And I
We
want
got your
to.
wife Paula saying hi, guys. Love you both. She's
Hey,
watching.
Paula.
Jay Farley is on there asking if either one of us have met or interviewed Jack King. Not me.
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
Okay.
Jack. I've met Jack several times. Usually at ASF events. But
Astronaut
yeah.
Scholarship Foundation.
So for those who don't remember, Jack King was the voice of Apollo, right? He was
Yeah.
famously, we have liftoff on Apollo 11,
Yeah.
32 minutes past the hour. That was
Yeah.
Jack King. And Jack was a guy from the Northeast, from New England, was sort of a reporter. And then this opportunity came along for this POA, the Public Affairs Office with NASA, and he became the voice of launch control, right? After launch, it would then you'd hear the guy in Paul Haney in Houston
Well,
in the early
Yeah,
days.
we got a lot of kind of different people watching. That's good. Shirley Newman, you know Shirley.
My mother-in-law.
Okay.
Happy birthday, Shirley. My
All right.
mother-in-law's birthday today.
All right. Great picks, she says. So glad to see you back, Mitch. And Donna Martinez.
My sister-in-law. Hey, Donna.
All right.
The whole family is tuned in.
Well, this is going to boost our ratings big time.
Yeah.
With the Rothman family all on board here.
That's the Newman family.
Let's get the meat of what you wanted to share with us today. And again, Mitch is in his NASA manned space, does a wonderful job of keeping what we at the American Space Museum love talking about, the birth of the American space program,
Yep.
the unmanned program, the Mercury, the Gemini, the Apollo, okay,
Yeah.
Skylab,
and-
and ASTP.
And let me say, if you haven't been to this museum to see how those programs are celebrated, you need to get here. Even if you've been to the Kennedy Space Center, you're not going to see objects there that are here. Tom Usiak reminded me of, you need to go check out the camera display. And of course, it was the first thing when John and I started exploring the museum today. It was the first thing we walked over to.
Yeah, we've got a Hasselblad camera that the Usiak brothers used to photograph over 65 shuttle launches remotely with the camera set up on a tripod and a sound system to activate the shutter.
Yeah.
And the very same camera that was used on the moon, the Hasselblad 500L series in there. So
and then of course you have in the Gemini gallery is Gemini Mercury gallery is John Glenn's helmet.
Hard hat.
Yeah, his hard hat rather. Yeah, and Gus Grissom's flight suit.
Mm-hmm.
There's special
a lot of
artifacts here.
We have a lot of one-of-a-kind things, and things like squib bolts off the Mercuries, and we've even got a banana chip that Ham and Enos ate as their reward, orbiting the Earth in there.
This one was not after they ate it.
No,
though.
well, no. We don't keep that sort of stuff around here. But no, we got. Though we have a fecal containment bag in our food bin.
You can put a banana chip in it.
That's right. We ought to do that. And how do we know it's a real banana chip? Because our museum was full of space workers that had this stuff and handed it to us. This was in my drawer. I was in charge of the chimps. This is what they ate, type of stuff. So, well, let's get to the meat of our program here. No chimpanzee chips, but talking about the Artist and the Astronaut DVD. That was a big deal. That when we showed it at Shuttle Fest 4 last April, you had Jerry Carr's son, who was a public affairs officer, on there. You had, I think, Andy Chaikin came on.
Yeah, so we presented the film at Shuttle Fest 4, and Pat Music, who is the artist of The Artist and the Astronaut, appeared via Zoom, as did Jeff Carr, Jerry's son, who's also in the film. Bill Mensch, the filmmaker, joined us. Andy Chaikin also joined us. He's also in the film, and that's who I remember We're,
Yeah, but it was great. Here, get out your phone, hit this QR code.
yeah, it's now available on Amazon. The Artist and the Astronaut. You can go to the artistandtheastronaut.com and find other merchandise. You can buy signed, or rather autographed, DVDs and CDs of the original soundtrack of the film, um, by Todd Hoban, who is the musical director for the film. So you can either get it now on demand, or purchase the DVD and the CD on Amazon. Just go to Amazon, search for The Artist and the Astronaut,
Mhm.
and you'll get there. You can also go to theartistandtheastronaut.com, find other merchandise.
There's Pat. Of course, Jerry passed away about 4 years ago in his 80s. Now, this was each of their second marriage, I believe.
Yes, Pat is now just turned 99.
Oh my gosh.
Um,
This
and
picture's just a couple years ago, though, right?
I believe it probably is. I have to tell you, I don't know where that came from. I hadn't seen that photo.
So it's about their love affair. He lived up in the area, I guess. They got to know. She's a very eclectic type of artist,
Yeah,
as you can see by the representative of the sun there.
that
And
sun piece that is on that poster is a piece that Pat did. So she and Jerry were able to do the art because of Jerry's engineering background.
right,
She was constructing large objects that needed to be engineered. Right. Outdoor public
art is
park.
what I wanted to get across
Right.
there. It's
Public
mostly,
park art.
yeah, yeah.
Right. And so heavy stuff that needed to be engineered. And Jerry would joke, and he says so in the film, actually, every time Pat came up with a new design, I would ask, how much does it weigh?
Yeah, because he's
So,
thinking about his back and stuff like that.
well, he's thinking about the engineering.
Yeah. But she grew up kind of a hippie in the 1960s when he was training as an astronaut and raising a family, of course, and then they intermixed. How did they meet? What was
So
that?
she eventually married a guy that was the head coach of the Cornell football team. And the year that he was the head coach, they won whatever their division was. They were the top team for I believe it was the first time Cornell ever achieved that, the football team. Anyway, his name was Music. I don't recall, maybe it was Jim Music. But he developed brain cancer and passed away at a young age. So that by the time Jerry was on Skylab, her first husband was dying. And she recounts in the film, I was laying in this field in upstate New York, which is where Ithaca Cornell is located, and I see the Skylab go over, and she's like, I wonder who those men are.
Huh.
And 5 years later, I married one of them. That's from the film. But how they met was as simple as as I recall, they attended the same church and were introduced by people they knew through church. And she was recently widowed. He was recently divorced. He divorced not long after he came back from his Skylab flight. That's how they met. And Bill Mensch, the filmmaker, knew them because they settled up in New England, up in Vermont, which is where Bill lives. In fact, that's how Bill knows Andy Chaikin. Andy lives down the street from Bill, so they've known each other even before the film.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, well, and of course he
Good
knew.
job, Bill Mensch. He rich in 1960s history.
Great.
Going to the moon and doing all that with the civil rights movement and assassinations and so if you're not a baby boomer like me, you'll get a good education about that. Check it out. Get on your Amazon there. Hit that QR code.
There you go.
And I'll be checking it out and downloading it again. And no, it's and of course, you get to see her outdoor sculptures and him groaning about the heavy things that she's got going on there, so forth.
And some great for space buffs,
Yeah.
never before seen interviews. Bill got hours of interviews with Alan Bean. Alan Bean is depicted prominently in the film.
Yes, he is. That's right.
In fact, it
An
covers.
artist himself in his
That's
art.
right, and
Thing.
friends with Pat through the art,
Mm.
and anyway, and it covers Alan's passing because while the film was being made, Alan
There's
passed away.
Jerry's tribute. His handprints are out at Spaceview Park, just 3 blocks from here. I'd gather the only place in the world you can put your handprints on his there. The day he died, we found that out there. So, and often when the astronauts do pass away, the locals leave a remembrance out there. So, check it out. Again, the artist and the astronaut. Anything you'd like to add to that?
I think we've covered it. It's
It's about a 90-minute
it's a great
documentary.
I would remind everybody it's the DVD's a great stocking stuffer, right? It's that time of year, so check it out.
Yeah. Mostly Parked is watching. Sounds good. He says he'll watch it. Hi,
Thank you,
Uncle
thank you.
Mitch from Wink Work Wonk Wonk Wonk. Wink Work Wonk Wonk Wonk. Hi, Uncle Mitch.
It's got to be one of my nieces or nephews.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? And Dave Stange woke up from his afternoon nap. While
Dave has been keeping me posted on
on
his hanging in there to catch the show today,
Yeah.
and I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
Marty, I see a question from Jay Farley. Get your voice on that UCX family microphone.
Yeah, I'm trying to find. I know I just saw it a little while ago. Oh, are there any Gemini corned beef sandwiches at the museum?
Is there something that
We have
celebrates
the
the sandwich?
story about it. We have the Wolfie's story that John Young, or Dick Young, the great writer Dick Young, wrote about the Wolfie's sandwich
Okay.
in there. And you know that is such a cool little legend. It's not a legend. It's a real event.
Really, yeah.
But
It almost got John Young grounded.
It was 30 seconds. Okay. Where John Young pulled it out. And I've heard this from people that knew John Young and knew Gus Grissom. And he pulled this roast beef sandwich out.
Corned beef.
And corned beef from Wolfie's. That was it's not the Wolfie's depicted in the movie Fly Me to the Moon, I'll tell you that.
No, Wolfie's had great
but because they had a diner. Like
yeah.
But
Date nut bread and cream cheese sandwiches.
Anyway, John Young pulled it out and to his commander. He took a bite and he says, "You want a bite?" And Gus said, "No, put that away." And he put it away, and just like that, it was more like John was too busy and whatnot. And then it was an afterthought. And then here you got Robert Miller in front of the Senate a couple weeks later answering questions. Why are you spending millions of dollars on space food and an astronaut takes a corned beef sandwich to up there, and it was an issue.
Some people just don't have a sense of humor.
No, they don't. And John Young, of all people, that was an aw shucks type of moment for him too, I'm sure.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, and then goes on to be
Good
like one of the
question
most
there.
prolific astronauts in the program.
Now, Tom Celentano said he met Pat and Jerry at the community college in Bridgeport, Connecticut in 2013. Some of her work was on display at the art gallery there. And so glad that you're all watching today.
Very cool.
This delayed Stay Curious program, but it's never delayed as we have over 1,100 episodes on YouTube for you to enjoy. Google Mitch Rothman in there or search Mitch Rothman, and you've been on 7 or 8 times now.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
All right, let's get to another important thing to your heart and your friend who's watching there, Bob Slater. Understand that Bob is not just only investing a lot of time, but significant amount of his resources financially into this.
And he's hoping to have some help with some of those resources.
The last time we saw this, the American Space Museum that you covered up was about the only one you had on there.
That's about right. It was me and it was Man Space Media.
So first, give us the sales pitch: a federal holiday to celebrate innovation, exploration, and the power of teamwork to achieve new heights.
So it's about recognizing truly one of the to this day, it has to remain one of the greatest achievements, right?
Mankind's
to
greatest adventure.
right to step
Still,
right to
okay,
step on
the
on the
moon.
moon. And so so what this holiday, and of course the inspiration of that occasion, right, and what it meant not just to this nation, but really for that brief time, right, to the world, and we're sort of losing our edge somehow technologically. Arguably, I would certainly take the position that we're falling behind, certainly the Chinese. So the importance of remembering this event is not just to celebrate the many hundreds of thousands of people like Marty who were involved in the program, but also to inspire the next generation. It's all about education. It's all about science, technology, the arts, and mathematics. And so that's really the sales pitch. And so one of the things that we have done, and
There's your group. Let's show some of the brains behind this.
yeah, so that is Paula at the head of the table, and I'm sitting
Who's
next
this
to
in
her.
front-
He is a friend. So to the left in the baseball cap is Matt Palomic. Matt has been a viewer here before, and Dave Hammond is sitting across from Matt and John. I can't remember John's last name. I had met him for the first time at this event, but seated next to them are Mary and Bob. That's there. Bob is spearheading this effort. I first got involved by traveling. He was looking for
Bob's this one on the end here.
Yes.
Because I not met Bob. This is Bob.
no. Bob is
All right,
seated
that's what
next
I'm
to
asking.
Paula.
Okay, there
Yeah,
we
that,
go.
and then
All
next to him is Mary. Bob. So
Okay.
Bob Slater,
All right.
Mary
Okay,
Allen.
there you are, Bob Slater. Not met you, buddy. So good.
Yeah, and hopefully maybe I'll get them out here for Shuttle Fest because we got to see each other in San Diego, which was a great time. In fact, that's where this picture is taken. We all met in San Diego.
Okay. Let's go back to the cause here.
Yeah.
Marty's got a question for you there.
Oh, we got a question from Daily Saints. He says, ask Mitch how he got so interested in manned spaceflight. Interview his curiosity.
Interview his curiosity. What does that mean?
Well, Daniel Daily Saints is new to us, and thank you for watching. Well, just like he says there, I usually ask and probably have because Mitch has been on 8 times. But how did you get interested in space, and why are you continuing this quest?
So good question. And
Where'd you grow up?
I'm delighted to have the opportunity to speak about myself.
Okay.
Anyway, I grew up on Long Island, not far from Grumman. In fact, Marty's daughter
Marty's from Hicksville.
Marty's daughter was born in Syosset Hospital, and I went to Syosset High School. So we have that. It's amazing, right? But as a kid, just like a lot of us, I just captivated. Nothing captivated my imagination quite the way people flying in a can to the moon and then walking on it. It captured my imagination.
Did you have an aha moment that you watched something?
Yes, I read something. I read the right stuff, actually.
Okay.
So
So you were a teenager, a young man. Actually.
Yeah. So my first experience was with Skylab. I was at the Kennedy Space Center. When I was a kid, my dad had a little airplane, and we would fly to Florida from Long Island every winter. But with this small airplane, you get weathered in from time to time, and we got weathered into Titusville. And so, lo and behold, we show up at the Kennedy Space Center. And Skylab was up at the time. I still have the pennant I bought. I see John smiling. I know he appreciates that kind of stuff. Anyway, and just started reading everything I could find about it. And then as I got older, I actually was blessed to be able to live a life that allowed me to meet I've met most of the moonwalkers, had the opportunity several times to meet Neil Armstrong, and then one of the most special experiences of my life was being able to break bread with Scott Carpenter at his
Oh,
home in Colorado.
we've shown a picture of you and
Yeah,
Scott.
so and that was just months before he passed away. Um, so it's and then I retired and got into this social media thing. And it's amazing to me how it's taken off, and it's become the best unpaid full-time job I've ever had. um, and
And what was your job?
I was a trial lawyer.
Okay.
So name a crime, and I represented somebody charged with it. Um,
Okay.
and did that for about
Obviously very well.
well, it was fun, and yeah, I mean,
Was this in New York?
no, I was licensed here in Florida. I've also was licensed in Colorado and Texas, so I practiced in all three states. Um, so, uh, but um, but I haven't done that in a number of years. But through the practice,
But if you need any help with anything, we'll get you
I'll, I,
Mitch's phone number.
and I'll tell you who to call.
Okay.
Um, but
The
anyway,
point is, you had a good career, and it afforded you the opportunity to do what you and Paula love to do.
yes,
We could all be jealous and envious of him, but he worked hard to get to where you're
well,
at,
and
to
it's
attend these soirees with
right, and to be
cocktail parties with astronauts
right.
and events like that.
And to be clear, it's a team effort, right? I mean, I wasn't the only one that worked hard, right, Paula? Uh, None of this happens without the
Sure.
effort of both of us. So
and you're lucky to have a partner that enjoys space, because
that's
she is
right.
she's one of the administrators on your man space,
She is.
and
She is. And it
she
was her
knows her
birthday
job.
just the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah, happy
Well,
birthday, babe.
all right. Well, let's lunar landing day. The sponsors you have there.
So what you're looking at here are museum sponsors. There's another
Let's
slide.
rattle them off there.
Yeah, so the Cosmosphere.
Been there.
Yeah, the Stafford Air. So what these are museums that are endorsing Lunar Landing Day as a national holiday, so that when you go to Washington and you sit down with the guy, from Oklahoma, you can say, hey, right in your state is one of the finest air and space museums in the country, and they're behind this.
Let's name them all off there.
Yeah, so of course I'm blocking American Space Museum. And then you got the San Diego Air and Space Museum, the Hornet Apollo 11 Space Museum.
The Hornet
It's not
was
a space. The Hornet
the,
recovery vessel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Uh,
Ship.
The Sacramento, I can't remember. So there's a Sacramento museum, and then can I'd have to see it closer. I can't.
Yeah, we can.
I'm going to stand up and look, if you don't mind.
Okay,
Just
sure.
I want
Yeah, look at
to.
there.
To honor all.
He's
of
got
them.
Infinity there, which is Fred Hayes sponsored.
Yes. So the Infinity Science Center, the Deke Slayton Museum, the Tulsa Air and Space Museum, the Mississippi. Gosh, well, to be able to see. Anyway, there's another museum. Oh wait. Oh, there we go. That's not much better. There's a museum in Sacramento, in Bob's neighborhood where he is, which is the MOSAC Museum, something Museum of Sacramento, and then the other one is a Mississippi flight type museum, and there are others in the hopper. Bob and I have found by teaming up. I contacted the Stafford. I was able.
You need to get the Grumman Museum in there.
Yeah, that is one that we need to team up on.
So if you can help, if you're associated with the museum, very active as a volunteer docent or something that loves space, get a hold of Mitch, get a hold of me, and we're going to put more pressure on our congressman to make it a federal holiday, which is a whole other bailiwick of having people being paid to not work, but we do that on lots of other holidays. And I personally hope at least what comes out of this is a recognition of July 20th lunar landing day, like Mother's Day or Father's Day or
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
that's one of those unofficial holidays that we all think about. So,
So if
uh,
I may just,
well, yeah, go
Marty's
ahead.
got a question.
Yep. Marty,
Yeah,
let
have you
Marty
tried making contact with KSC?
Uh, I haven't. Some of the bigger so it's a process, right? And so we've gone from e- e- from one to now a dozen. We've reached out to Huntsville. I was there actually. I went there myself in May,
Here's some supporting astronauts.
and flight directors. So yeah, these folks.
Jim
Gosh,
Lovell, before he died, endorsed you.
yeah, and the face that's blocked there by whatever that thing is.
Oh,
That's Fred
that's Fred
Hayes.
Hayes. Yeah, sorry there,
So it's,
Fred.
and of course Jim Lovell had given us his blessing. The most recent addition to that list is Dave Scott. But you can see that those flight directors, that's Gene Kranz, Milt Windler, and Jerry Griffin. They've all also endorsed
Okay.
Lunar Landing Day.
There you got Buzz, Dave Scott, Charlie Duke, and Harrison Schmidt, the only living members of Harrison, and the youngest is Charlie Duke
Yeah.
at age 90. Or
And,
I think it's 89.
no, I think he just turned
Yeah,
90.
and so did Harrison Schmidt in July, and I
Yeah,
think
they were born in 35.
yeah, okay. And so
So,
not going to be too much longer when there won't be anybody up there. We can talk about a lot.
well,
Of
to
course,
be
Buzz
sure,
is 95, Scott's 92.
that there are plenty of shuttle astronauts that are also involved in the effort, but to be able to have these living legends be part of the team is
Absolutely.
important and amazing.
It is, and it's in the time it was billed as man's greatest adventure. It still is. Think about it. It must be because nobody's duplicated it in 53 years, a half a century. All right. What conquest, or I'm not going to call it conquest, but we did conquest the moon. But this is the only adventure that stopped in its tracks. Okay. Columbus didn't stop, all
Right.
these explorers, when they found new territory, they kept coming back and finding funding to do it. They were just as funding strapped as anybody on these sailing ships. So this is, we conquered Antarctica. We kept going back to it. Now it's important. So
Well,
just disturbing that the human psyche doesn't want to keep exploring the moon.
it's not the human psyche, it's the American psyche, perhaps. I mean, it's because the attempt at exploring and exploiting continues. Some countries are just perhaps doing it better than others.
Mm-hmm.
One person's opinion.
So what do you think, Artemis? Are we gonna? We know China is ramping up to go to the moon before 2030. And
We've been hearing about
what do
Artemis.
your Facebookers say about this?
So
Talk
we don't talk a lot about the new
the Artemis.
programs where I am, because our focus is on what I call the golden age of the American manned space program. But to the extent that it is discussed, it's comments about, this doesn't, can you imagine if this were the cadence of the Apollo program? There is no cadence in the Artemis program. They launched a single vehicle, and we've been hearing about this
3 years ago.
right. And we've
3
been
years
hearing about this return to the moon, which really has no practical, I guess, I mean, isn't it a free return trajectory? I don't even know if they're
Well,
going to
yes,
orbit the moon.
Artemis 2, and we'll talk about that before the holidays, is a free return trajectory. They're coming within 6,500 miles of the moon, not doing a lunar orbit
Right.
over the poles like the Artemis architecture for the landing wants. And there's just every step of the NASA way filled in the holes of the previous danger or unknowns, and they're taking on a dozen unknowns in that Artemis 3 right away. And we'll just see that the Jared Isaacman was before Congress
Yeah.
this week. In fact, yesterday on Thursday, everybody seems to think he's the guy that can put some sense into this going back to the moon, but he definitely said we need to beat China on the return to
Yeah,
the moon,
it's
that
not
there could
sense
be
that we
some bad
need, it's money.
consequences. And we were on a race to the moon with another communist country a half a century ago. And, you know, 53 years later, it didn't make any difference who won because nobody's going back
Well, yet.
but China's going to stay, and if they get to the moon where there's all of this water locked up in the South Pole that is valuable like gold for everything we need to sustain everything there, maybe they'll scramble the signals so nobody else can land there. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? It's all to be sorted out. We need to get it sorted out.
Yes, we
So,
do. But
what else would you like to say about the effort for Moon
so
Day here?
you can go to lunarlandingday.net. There you can find out some more information, and you can also sign a petition. We've gathered, it's got to be thousands of names by now. I know I've collected hundreds myself.
Go sign it right now.
Yeah, you can scan
you
that
have
QR code and it'll take you to lunarlandingday.net.
Lunarlandingday.net.
And if you're interested in more information or would like to participate financially, you can reach me at manspace1, the number 1, manspace1 at gmail.com.
All right.
And I'll get you in touch with Bob.
Hello to Mark Thel back at you as he's found us. And of course, that's the beautiful, iconic image of the Earth taken by Apollo 17. That one is probably the most used in social media and advertising. Look at the Antarctica, the beautiful base there, the Horn of Africa.
The full Earth image.
Just the what?
They called it the full Earth image.
Yep. And I think Jack Schmidt likes to take credit for that. I've heard him talk about that. But let's get to the moon, and let's wait. There we go with Apollo 17. And tradition on this show is to talk about, with our mission patch handbook here, what does this symbolic patch
and this
mean?
one has some great symbolism to it.
And so let me turn to that page there and put my spectacles on. And the 2 spacecraft that went to the moon on Apollo 17, the command module was called?
It was America and Challenger.
America and Challenger.
Did you think you were going to stump me there?
No, I didn't. I was conversing with you there. I could probably stump me the day I've had today.
Yeah.
The insignia is dominated by the image of Apollo, the Greek sun god. Suspended in space is a contemporary design of an American flag, a design of an American eagle. I mean, the red bars of the eagle's wing represent the bars in the United States flag. The 3 white stars symbolize the crew. The space background features the moon, the planet Saturn, and a spiral galaxy. The moon is partially overlaid by the eagle's wing, suggesting this is a celestial body that man has visited and, in a sense, conquered. The thrust of the eagle and the gaze of Apollo to the right and towards Saturn and the galaxy is meant to imply that man's goals in space will someday include the planets and perhaps the stars. The colors of the emblem are red, white, and blue, and the colors of our flag, with the addition of gold to symbolize the golden age of spaceflight that would begin with this Apollo 17 lunar landing. This emblem was designed by Robert McCall in collaboration with the artist. Robert McCall, of course, one of the premier space artists. He dedicated most of his art career to space, and many of you have seen his tremendous murals. He's got a handful of stamps out there, including the Lunar Rover stamp, and he designed STS-133 patch that our friend Nicole Stott was on the last flight of Discovery. That patch was Robert McCall died in the middle of that, and our friend Tim Gagnon helped with his buddies, his Spanish friend
Miguel,
Sergio or
Miguel. Well, no.
But anyway, look how coolly that fits over the Earth there,
oh yeah,
course,
look at that.
Gene Cernan on his 3rd trip to space, Gemini 9, Apollo 10. Evans, a rookie. Schmidt, the only
Right.
geologist to go to the moon.
Cernan, one of only 3 men to go to the moon twice.
Yep. And yeah, right. He went to the moon twice on 10.
Right.
Schmidt bumped Joe
Engel.
who was scheduled for this because they wanted on the last flight at least a geologist to go. And Joe Engel didn't really qualm about it. Interesting factoid about Joe Engel, as we're looking at them on the moon, is Joe Engel was offered a Skylab. Nope, I don't want to do a Skylab. He was offered ASTP. Nope, don't want to do that. Well, what do you want to do? I want to fly a winged spacecraft.
He was used to it, right? He was an X-15 pilot.
That's right. And he waited for his chance to do that and become part of legend with that. So with STS-2, which I say you can't have a reusable space craft until you reuse it. So the Richard Truly Joe Engel flight of STS-2, I think, is a very underrated, daring test flight.
Well, and he was a rookie commander.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? I mean, he was,
yeah.
so you had Neil Armstrong, Gemini 8. You
Mhm.
had Jerry Carr, Skylab 4.
Right.
And then you had Joe Engel.
Gemini 7, though, they were both rookies, Borman and Lovell.
Yeah.
All right. So Borman was the commander there, right?
That's right.
So
That's right.
yeah.
Oh, man, you
they
burst
leave
my
that
bubble.
out there. Oh, hey, buddy, I know a little bit.
Yeah,
I
a
love
little
pictures
bit.
like this. This is Marty Winkle's limb number 12, Marty?
12.
12 was the tail number on this from Grumman. Of course, Marty in his smock and hair covered up and whatever, walked around the base of this, got inside of it, chucked batteries out, stuff like that on there. But I like
his name
this is
to it.
human beings. We leaving litter
Not
all
this
over.
one.
Not sure what that is that they've got there, but it was part of maybe getting the lunar rover out like a Murphy bed there.
God, it almost, yeah. Huh.
And I thought I'd throw this picture just to show you, the fun times of this. This is actually Gene Cernan practicing driving the lunar rover around the property at
Yeah.
Kennedy Space Center. And there's the NASA tours that were, I think, conducted by TWA.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the T on the TWA there.
Yep.
Could you imagine being on that tour bus and just saying
Gene Cernan drives by.
training as he's driving around there? Why not? Let's get used to working the dials in your spacesuit and all that. And I always think it's incredible how easily they just don these spacesuits and lived in them on Earth, to get used to it and stuff like that. I'm sure it wasn't easy.
Yeah, I mean, right, the damn things weighed a ton.
Yeah, but that's so cool there. Here are our men. To the left is, of course, Schmidt and Ron Evans, who passed away, and Gino. Gino died a couple years ago. He did an excellent documentary where he's wearing a nice-looking leather jacket and just kind of casually talking about things in there.
Yes.
That's, I forget what that movie was called there. It was a night launch, the only night launch. Mr. Winkle, tell us what that night launch was like when you watched it with your own eyes on December 7th, 1972.
I guess you'd have to say it was fantastic. I mean, we've never seen a night launch, that close up on that large of a vehicle. And I mean, the sound waves were, tremendous. The sky lit up like everybody talks about. It wasn't bright like the sun. It had a yellowish tint to it, but it was just beautiful.
Where were you when you watched it?
I was in front of the VAB.
Oh,
Right, actually closer to the LCC.
okay, the Launch Control Center.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it was more spectacular than a night launch of a shuttle.
Oh yeah.
You're saying,
Yeah.
Which is pretty spectacular that I've never seen either. But thank you, Marty. Of course, our legend, Apollo legend, national treasure.
Absolutely.
That we like calling him around here because he did something nobody else has ever done, and that is help America go to the moon. And he was just one of hundreds of thousands of people, but each one had to be an unbroken chain link, just
And
like
each
Gunter
one,
Bent's book.
and each one has a story to tell, has a unique experience to share, and it's worth celebrating
And
these
we
folks.
love to tell it. This might be in our auction Saturday, tomorrow, a firing room permit for Apollo 17. These go for customarily for $100 to $200. Some of you want to collect each one of the as many as you can get. And I can't say positive there's some on the auction there. I don't recall that. There is Gino on the moon.
Nope,
Okay, nope, that's actually.
that's Jack Schmidt.
And how do you know that?
There's no stripe.
Well, I just want we have a lot of
Y-
newbies out
Yeah,
there,
so the
and not being
commander,
smart or facetious. I
right?
mean to
I know that.
inform our friends out
Of
there how you
course.
know that.
Yes. So the commander, starting with Alan Shepard.
Actually, 13.
Yeah,
when
it was.
started,
Yeah, but he never wore it.
yeah.
The first time it was deployed was on 14. The use of the orange bands around the commander's
Right.
arm,
Yeah.
around on the top of the
helmet.
mohawk here, and of course without it. So in this image, you can see the red on the
depicted here
on the
by
sleeve.
our friend Ronnie Woods and his watercolor.
Okay.
Gino with the flag there. I
Beautiful.
didn't know that was so pixelated out, but yeah, Ronnie Wood, who was a suit tech and he put Buzz Aldrin in his suit.
Yeah.
And then went on for a career that he was well into the shuttle era as a suit tech. Ron Woods, you guys have met him at Shuttle Fest, and there's Schmidt at the Rover there. Just customary, just such a reliable vehicle. Again, another thing that we just abandoned. All this technology put into this, it folded like an origami
Oh yeah.
thing,
So unique.
People, well, how'd they get that car to the moon? Where there was no room for it on there. Well, they folded it up origami style and in a Murphy bed.
If people took some time to exercise some imagination instead of being deluded.
Yeah. We get a lot of that. He gets a lot of hoaxers and so forth on there. I love it because I love blocking you forever off of my site.
Yeah, we have zero tolerance. We have zero tolerance.
Zero tolerance to that. If you think we didn't go to the moon, I'm sorry,
Go
you didn't
somewhere
get
else
you
to
didn't get a
discuss
very
it.
good education. And I came up with an argument on that is okay, I'll buy that you don't understand that because I don't understand electricity. I don't understand these grid power structures and all that stuff. I think electricity is magic. When I flip the switch, it's always there. So it's magic.
How do I know this light bulb is even on?
That's right. That's right. Anyway, we digress there with some of the we have to tolerate the intolerable at times. Go ahead, Marty Winkle.
Yeah, James Gibson is asking, excuse me, the Limb is the coolest vehicle. Apollo 9 was amazing and perhaps dangerous. The vehicles were not connected. If they couldn't redock, that would be it, right?
And you can answer that, Marty.
Yeah. Well, on 9?
On 9.
Well, they were practicing EVA to begin with. Yeah. So that wouldn't have been an issue.
If they couldn't have docked, they would have tried to transfer the
They would have done an
astronauts from
EVA.
one vehicle to the other. But that was actually something they were going to try to do.
But Rusty got not well, right? I'm sure that
Rusty's the first admitted case of space sickness, and he didn't feel good, and they were actually he was gonna go from because McDivitt was the commander, so he was gonna go over to and go in the hatch where Dave Scott was photographing there. But we love talking about this, James Gibson.
Yeah,
you
good
keep
question.
coming back, buddy.
Yeah,
because it is Marty. Let Marty tell you exactly the uniqueness of this vehicle. It is the only vehicle, what?
To this date, the only true space vehicle designed to fly solely in the vacuum of space and crewed. It is the first and only vehicle today to land and then take off. It's the only vehicle today that's crewed without a heat shield for reentry.
And with the pilot and commander standing up.
Yes.
And also designed to land and take off from another world.
said that.
Yeah, that
Land,
would
then
Yeah.
take off.
Nobody's done this in 53 years. Okay.
right.
This is,
Yeah, and to think
so
that,
now there's been some unmanned that have gone there. Okay. But anyway, it is an amazing vehicle. And you come to Shuttle Fest, uh, James Gibson, that's our big fundraising event where we'll have maybe half a dozen astronauts in June. And we will offer a tour with Marty of the lunar module, and you won't believe what that man can point out to you because that's the real deal at Kennedy Space Center. Lunar module number 9, yeah, number 9 that Apollo 15 was going to use, but didn't because they wanted to put it didn't have. It wasn't built on the descent stage to put the lunar
Right,
lander
right.
It
in.
wasn't extended duration.
What?
It was not extended duration.
Yeah, extended duration. Okay, which was to stay on the moon 3 days. So it's amazing, and what Marty knows is awesome. He would fill a gallon compared to my thimble of my knowledge. So, all right, let's get some love to Ron Evans on Apollo 17. Yeah, we can show this that you want to do.
Yeah.
Ron did
So
one
we'll
of
get to
3
that in a minute.
astronauts to do an interstellar
Cislunar.
space cislunar spacewalk to retrieve film. And I usually have a roll of film around here to remind people what film looks like. Yes, back in the day, your data was on a celluloid silver halide strip called film, and he had to go retrieve the data in that canister.
Yeah, that canister is
Risk
what he's
your
after.
life on a spacewalk between the Earth and Moon to retrieve your data is basically what that's all about. Now he's wearing the commander's red helmet, and I've never heard an explanation of why. But Al Warden and Ken Mattingly, and then of course Ron Evans did the spacewalks, and they all wore the commander's red striped helmet. Have you ever hear an explanation for that, John?
John?
My understanding is this. Of course, there was only 2 astronauts that had the hard helmet, and they were the 2 that walked on the moon. And they left those helmets behind, and they brought back the one on the last 3 flights for the command module pilot to wear as he was doing the EVA.
So I left him for weight.
Well done, John. You know, there's always people that know more about this stuff
That's
than we
right.
do.
And we welcome you to watch our show and chime in there. All right, you got. We give some love to Chris Callie.
We need to do
You know
this
Chris
before the show.
Callie? Do you know Chris
Oh,
Callie?
of course, Chris. My gosh, yes. Chris is
He's
why-
actually in Japan right now.
Yeah,
with his
that's
wife,
why we're
Jackie.
I'm sitting next to Mark here is because of Chris.
This is his tribute to Gene Cernan and last footprints on the moon.
beautiful.
On there in his beautiful artwork there. And then wrapping up our Apollo 17 little slideshow here, there's Chris Callie's beautiful Geno on the moon, okay,
Let me
with
get
all of the patches.
10 and
And
11.
I compliment you have to have Apollo 1 on your patch collection. I'm very dismayed. I will not buy a mug of all of the missions that doesn't have Apollo 1 on it. Okay. And this is one of a kind special that John and
Yeah.
Mitch you see up on the wall
Sure.
up there that Chris gave Marty. It's the only one with the Grumman
Right.
logo on it there. So
Grumman being the manufacturer of the LEM.
yeah, and one of the coolest logos in.
Yeah.
I love that logo. So
My favorite, actually.
so thank you for sharing this with us today.
So,
you were gonna.
Yeah, so in honor of Apollo 17, I wanted to present this to the museum.
You grab the one side and I'll pick it up. Oh my gosh.
So this is a these are vintage autographs of each of the crew members of Apollo 17, framed under glare-proof glass, acid-free.
I'm gonna move it in there just a little bit closer. I've got it good.
Okay.
I'll put it in there.
Okay, and then
Give it a little-
so you see Jack Schmidt there on the right.
Yeah.
Well,
Schmidt's over there.
yeah. I don't know my left from my right, so feel free to help me out
So
anytime.
there you go,
on that.
Jack Schmidt there on the left, and then you got Gino, and then Ron Evans on the
Signed the envelope.
boy, this is 3D, folks. Too. I'm trying to show you a little bit of the depth
Yeah, it's
to
a
it by
shadow
hanging it like
box
that.
type.
Beautiful. Oh my
and
gosh.
so-
We'll put that right up in our Apollo gallery over there.
Yeah,
for sure.
so, and it's
Because we loved, you know, you might not consider this a museum article if you're going to put it in your home. Why not? Okay, this shows people that they can buy autographs, not just our auction, but other auctions, and see some of the things that you might not ever see, like the matches.
yeah.
That's-
So
that's a
these were
big deal.
RCA back in the day, produced collector series matches where you could send
Mhm.
away, and it's the front and back. Each mission had its own, and then down below this here is a replica of the plaque that was left on the descent, descent. The landing leg of the descent stage of the Apollo 17 lunar
And
module.
what does it say? Can you
It's
read that?
yeah, sure. It says he, and then Gene Cernan, of course, read this on the moon before he got back into the lunar module for the last time. And what he read was, "Here, man completed his first explorations of the moon, December 1972 A.D. May the spirit of peace in which we came be reflected in the lives of all mankind." And then it's signed Eugene Cernan, astronaut, Ronald Evans, astronaut, Harrison Schmitt, astronaut, Richard Nixon, President of the United States. And this
Thank you
is
so much, Mitch. We will have this up, and in fact, I may put it on an easel to honor Apollo 17 this month with a
Sure.
little comment on
yeah,
there.
that's a great
And
great idea.
I have something that always pops into my mind when we see President Richard Nixon's name on all of the 6 lunar landing plaques, and that is I challenge anybody to find a reference to President John F. Kennedy left on the moon. I challenge anybody to find something about the man that laid down the pledge to go to the moon. I to my knowledge, I can't find anything of President Kennedy
Yeah,
left on the moon to say, "Thank you, President Kennedy, we did it." Because Marty and I've talked over and over, and he'll nod his head when I say it there, that the assassination, the murder of President Kennedy was an impetus for the workers in the back of their mind that we have to do this in 1969. And Marty, back me up on that.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, but it's also the general population was backing it,
Mm-hmm.
at least backing the first one.
Yeah.
Apollo 11.
And
Yeah,
Kennedy's great speech at Rice University, or the one before whichever one they play before Congress. We choose to go to the moon not because it's easy, but because it's hard.
That's Rice.
That will be played 1,000 years from now, just like we remember "Et tu, Brute."
Yeah,
from
it is.
Julius
It is.
Caesar's last words. I mean, seriously, this is probably one of the greatest sound bites of a speech
Absolutely.
ever, because we don't have a sound bite of Lincoln talking at Gettysburg. But I hope some of you agree with me on that. But I don't find anything. Thank you, President Kennedy. We did it on the moon. Has anybody said anything? John, you guys, I see smoke coming out of your ears there.
I'm trying to think. I cannot.
So what do y'all think about that? That's, to me, that's a serious omission. I'll
Yeah,
put it at
I would
that.
I would agree. And frankly, I hadn't thought about it until you just mentioned it.
Yeah,
Mark,
Marty.
not to take anything away from what you said, but there's no credit that goes to Lyndon Johnson, it was his idea for Kennedy to go to the moon.
There you go. Lyndon Johnson also. Okay. And what did President Nixon do after they unveiled this plaque of Apollo 17 on the moon? Well, he'd already done it at Apollo 16
Right.
with in April 72, telling
18, 19, and 20.
tell what he was telling John Young, that Congress just approved the space shuttle.
Oh,
John
yes.
Young's on the moon saying, "That's great. America needs that space shuttle." which was approved by one vote in April of 1972 by Congress. And I don't know who the vote was cast by. I don't care too much about the politics, but it wasn't a vast majority of people wanting to build a space shuttle, and that's what Nixon wanted to do, and he did it. So, and they canceled shuttles 18, 19, and 20. Of course, with Joe Engle was going to be commander of 18, or was it going to be
18 would have been
they were gonna,
19 was Jerry Carr, Fred Hayes, and Bill Pogue. Gordon would have commanded. So, John, do you remember who it was?
I don't.
I can't remember who the other two on Gordon's flight would have been. Vance Brand?
Well, I thought they were going to give, because he stepped down, that Joe would be a commander of one of them. But we'll look at that up for another show.
I wasn't aware of that.
Scratch our heads here. But anyway, we got some nice comments there, and everybody following today. And of course, we've got the big, beautiful Earth behind us here as our green screen to remind us all that we live on a planet. We're all Earthlings. And as Nicole Stott says in her book, the only border that should matter is that thin blue line that keeps us all alive, and every astronaut talks about with awe. So thank you all for watching.
I got one more thing for you in honor of
You do?
Apollo 17.
Yeah?
And the holiday. I was here actually last year on the anniversary.
Brown bag in it, huh?
Yeah.
Want me to open this here?
Yeah, that's all for you. So you can
Okay.
open it.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And
The
open
last-
it more.
The Last Man on the Moon. Merry Christmas.
Did I not give you the right one?
Okay.
Wait a minute. I think I gave you the wrong one. No, there it
No,
is.
oh man, signed by Gene?
Yeah.
You're giving me this?
Yeah. Yes,
Well,
indeed.
God bless you. Thank you, brother.
Well, thank you
so
for what
much.
you do,
Thank
Mark.
you. That means an awful lot to me. Gene had a beautiful signature there. Okay, it took time to write that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Enjoy it.
I will reread this book, of course.
Yeah. And
uh,
it's got the original
Walter
jacket.
Cronkite says Gene Cernan reaches deep into his innermost being to reveal with remarkable candor his reactions to the trials and triumphs of a pioneering astronaut. And he certainly was. Thank you so much. God bless
You're welcome,
you,
my
man.
friend. You're welcome.
That's like handing me a $300 bill or more there. Appreciate that a lot. And I will reread this. I love going back. And everybody, I read that book, how long ago? Well, 20 years ago. Reread it now, and then it might have
Right.
You might have some more meaning to it there. So thank you so much. All right. Gene Cernan, wish I'd have met him. Did you?
Oh yes, he had a great sense of humor. I met him many times. He was a regular at Astronaut Scholarship Foundation events. And he liked to have fun. He was a fun guy.
Yeah, he did like to have fun. And another guy that seemed to like to have fun is Richard Gordon.
Yes, the animal, as they called him.
The animal.
Yeah,
They called him.
yep.
Who gave him the nickname the Animal?
Pete Conrad. That would be my
Pete
guess.
Conrad.
Yeah.
Because Marty, I think we've heard this story from Nick Thomas that Pete Conrad said his wife, or his girlfriend, said Richard Gordon had animal magnetism,
Okay.
and so his nickname become Animal.
Yeah.
On there. So do the honors of
be
people
happy
watching
to.
us here today in your manned spacecraft.
Okay, and thank you everybody for joining us and waiting it out until we were able to get on the air. So Cliff Watson in Australia, Bob Slater, Dr. Bob in California.
Thank you, Bob, and we're gonna promote the heck out of this. We are fully on board with 3, 2, 1 day. Where's Bob live?
In the Sacramento, California area.
Ooh, well, hope you get over here so I can meet you personally.
Yeah.
But we'll get you on a Zoom Google Meets here in July for sure.
Well, also Tom Salentano, Doug Forrest, Julie, thank you, Julie, Shirley Newman, thank you, Shirley, and the love of my life, Paula, Jay Farley, Donna Martinez, Tom Usiak, good to see you, Tom, Dave Stange, you too, Dave, Wink, wonk, wonk, wonk. I know who you.
Your nephew.
Right. It's a limited number of people it can be. I'm just not sure which one of them. Mostly Parked, Gary Jarrell, Daily Saints, Mark Fell, and James Gibson. Thank you all.
Thank you. A lot of new people, and we're grateful for that. Marty Winkle and I have been doing this program for 5.5 years, born out of the pandemic on March 23rd, 2020, when the world shut down. And we wanted to reach out to school kids we thought might be not getting to school, and it ended up hitting a home run with the space community. And we are blessed because it's an important outreach to our museum, and it just won't go away. And even with some serious, we had to reboot our whole Streamlabs program. Hour and a half
Yeah.
delay today, but those of you found us, thank you so much. And those of you that are watching today, tell the regulars that watch us, go to YouTube, put in American Space Museum, and enjoy to your heart's content some great content. And there's a few other things on there that are Stay Curious. Like our most popular thing is the rocket mishaps, where you see about 30 rockets explode. Of course, that's the most popular
Naturally.
show on there. And some other interviews and histories of space that were done before I came on board here at the American Space Museum. So we've got all these beautiful museums sponsors supporting Moon Day, including ours. We want you to support manned space.
NASA Manned Space, and
up there on. They also have a YouTube channel.
Yeah, you can find us on
And-
YouTube. Look for Manned Space 1187.
There you go. So want you all to just know that, again, the auction starts tomorrow. The gavel pounds at noon. If you're not going to buy anything, you're going to enjoy watching some of it, because you're going to say, I didn't know that they had that. Or I didn't know that was a thing. Or,
Yes.
or gee, that
Yeah, check
manual.
in. Yeah.
They have a manual on that. There's some good rare items on there. Great things that Santa Claus will love to bring down your chimney
That's right.
on Christmas Day. So check it out. It means a lot to the daily cash flow of the American Space Museum, as after every auction, we are handed a check from Chuck Jeffrey. It seems always just in time. Okay. We're not so close to the bone we can't pay the electric bill, but it's more like the looking down, all right, we got another good 3 months now that we got money to do what we want to do. So that's why it's so important. So thanks again, Mitch
My
Rothman.
pleasure.
You're a hell of a friend and,
Yes, indeed.
and a good person.
Happy
And,
holiday.
And happy holidays to you.
Yeah.
We'll be in touch.
Yep.
I'm going to take from Christmas to New Year's off, going to Tennessee and Ohio to see family. I might do a Stay Curious remotely. We'll talk about that later. But it's the weekend, TGIF. Thank you, Marty. Thank you, Bruce Jacobs. My IT
Yes.
guy just stuck his head in the door
You're
here.
welcome.
And Jessica Dumont, a.k.a. Galloway, for getting us up today and running, because I broke my heart for you to walk away today and we weren't get this
Yeah.
show underground. So it means a lot.
I
And go check out-
had a lot of confidence in the people that were tasked with making this
just
work.
let me stick that up there again while you're over the holidays. There's Don. There you are with Paula. Jerry. There. Go check out this movie, The Artist and the Astronaut. Okay, on Amazon. I've got Amazon. Okay, so I'll Google it in there and watch it again and maybe again. There's a lot of good Skylab information
Oh.
on there and cool things. Jack Lousma's on there, right?
I don't know that Jack is in that film.
Okay.
I think he was in Searching for Skylab.
Searching for
yeah,
Skylab. I'm getting
he's
confused.
right.
with,
He
but,
wasn't in this one.
But anyway, there is Jerry Carr, and who passed away, and Pat Music, the artist who says 99 years
Yeah.
old. So let her know we're giving her a lot of love,
Yes.
buddy.
God
So,
bless her.
all right. Thank you all for watching today. Mitch, thank you, sir. Marty, everybody. Until next week, I'm Mark Marquette with Mitch Rothman saying we can't wait to see you in our museum or somewhere else to do what?
To bridge
to
the
bridge
space
the-
between us.
That's right, brother. See you later, folks.